Hi friends, and welcome to the Shits and Gigs podcast, where we keep the vibe high, the humor gets raunchy, and things get spicy when we talk about food. This is your host Meg Davis, and we're here for a special episode of Bath Bombz tonight, where typically I'm quite literally in my tub, soaking it up and vibing with all of you guys. However, life happens, and our little dude's routine has changed yet again. So I'm on my couch this morning, relaxing with my hot tea and my breakfast, getting this episode done for you guys because I was inspired in the shower to dive into the topic of syncing with your cycle. So this episode tonight is for the ladies. Sorry guys, still tune in because this could be helpful if you're looking to connect with your partner, to maybe have that conversation about where your partner is in their cycle, so you might know how to cater and love on them to kind of align with whatever hormonal fluctuation they're going through that week. So we're going to dive into syncing with your cycle in regards to food and exercise, which I thought was really interesting. This is something I've been kind of wanting to dive into personally for a while now. To be completely transparent, when I got off of birth control, when we were starting to want to grow our family, I experienced some pretty intense symptoms when I was quote unquote detoxing, I'll say, off of my birth control pill. I literally felt like I was going through menopause for like 3 months. I was like having hot flashes and mood swings and all of these crazy things. And it was at that point when I kind of made the decision for myself. I would do whatever it was in my power to naturally prevent having another child when we didn't want one, essentially, after we had Cam and wanted to wait a little bit. And one of those things is learning to sync with your cycle and recognize your flow of your cycle when you're ovulating and things like that. Unfortunately for me, again, transitioning off of birth control for 10 plus years, I never really had a solid cycle even when getting pregnant. Kind of crazy circumstance. I want to say I got off my birth control in October of... Oh geez, testing my brain with numbers here. October of 22, and we didn't start trying until January of 22. But I didn't end up conceiving until June. So, and my cycles were crazy. I had like 50-day cycles, 40-day cycles. I never had a consistent flow. Not to be TMI, because that's not what we do around here, honestly. We just talk about it all, because if I'm experiencing it, I know at least one of you are too. I ended up, I think, conceiving most likely because I was paying attention to my cervical mucus. When it's kind of like egg white consistency, that's ideal for when you want to get things going, if you're trying to grow your family. So I just happened to notice that one day, and I think that's how we finally sealed the deal with getting our little cammy whammy. But becoming more aware and in tune with my body was a huge intention when I was pregnant, because you're literally a vessel for this growing human. And if you're not showing up for yourself and your body, it's not benefiting your baby either. So that was a huge movement and intention for myself while I was pregnant. And so transitioning off of being pregnant, learning about my cycle and how that all works is something I've been really trying to toe dip into here and there. Time is of the essence with learning new knowledge, so I kind of just plug in and learn about it when I can. So I wanted to share with you guys tonight, sorry, little tangent, about what I've learned so far in regards to kind of honoring your cycle, in regards to exercise and foods that you can use to really, fuel your soul for where you're at. All right, so here's how to pivot your lifestyle to respect your menstrual phase. Your first part of your phase is your menstrual phase, so that's considered to be days 1 through 5. And things that professionals recommend during your menstrual phase, you kind of want to take it slow. So things like walks, yoga, deep stretching, meditation potentially, if that's something you're into. Think like restorative practices. And that even carries over into the food. So when it comes to your nutrients, you want to think restoring or kind of like cozy and warm and nurturing. So that can look like making sure you're consistently hydrated. Ideally, doctors recommend you consuming half your body weight in ounces in water daily. So being super intentional, especially during your menstrual cycle, because you're kind of like flushing out in a way. And this is typically where a lot of women experience bloat. So staying hydrated will allow you to flush out all that excess water. And then think like groundy, cozy, warm foods. So things that are high in like iron and zinc especially are really beneficial during this time. Soups, scrambled eggs. Again, just think like nourishing, warm, and cozy, but also you're deficient in iron and zinc during this time because of your cycle. So make sure you're eating things that will help benefit that increase as well. And then days 6 through 13 are considered the follicular phase. And this is where you can kind of light things up when it comes to your exercise. So this is when they recommend weight training, HIIT workouts, runs. Really think of like ways you can step it up for yourself, because you're kind of like rejuvenated after you release that egg and you like bleed out. Essentially, your body is fresh and ready to go. So light it up with your exercise, really challenge yourself, set some positive intentions. This is a great time to goal set and like naturally increase your motivation and kind of just get excited about showing up for yourself. And as far as foods go, they recommend earthy foods, so things like salads and berries, things that are going to support your gut health, things that are light and fresh. So kind of keep that in mind. Smoothies, just like think from the earth when it comes to the follicular phase. I can't say that word. Follicular phase. I thought it was a simpler word, but now there's too many letters involved, and I think I'm reading it wrong. But you know what I mean, hopefully. Days 6 through 13. And then around day 14, this is where you're most likely going to be ovulating. So this is when things get spicy. You're feeling maybe extra attracted to your partner, or just like extra turned on at this time. If you don't have a partner, you can kind of just, handle yourself. And this is similar to the follicular phase when it comes to exercise. They say to continue to challenge yourself. However, when it comes to food, they actually recommend things that support your liver. So more like fibrous foods and veggies and fruits. They recommend like flax. I love protein boosted flax milk. That's something I incorporate almost daily. And another thing that I know just naturally supports liver detox is like a dandelion tea. I know Herbalife has a 21-day herbal reset, but I know you can also just go to the store and grab some dandelion tea, or there are like liver support natural just tea bag teas you could buy. So that could be something that you can treat yourself during that ovulation phase. I also feel like skincare and just like pouring into yourself feels really good during that phase, because you're just like heightened and excited. So those are a couple things you can keep in mind. And then the final phase is called the luteal phase, and that's days 15 through 28. So the tail end of your cycle leading back into menstrual phase. So these are when you want to kind of take a step back with your exercise. You want to do low impact exercises, band work, body weight work, light walks again. And then you want to lean into foods that will help balance out your blood sugar, because that's apparently something that's really affected towards the end here while we're again transitioning into that menstrual phase. So they recommend foods like leafy greens, legumes, avocados, bananas, and figs. So yeah, that's the 4 cycles. It's not super complicated, but it's still something like new that you have to be mindful of. So this is going to be something I'm going to try and lean into. Not to be TMI again, but I just like finished my cycle. So I'm going to do my best to see how I feel. I'm going to lean into these suggestions, and I'll probably tune back here with a Bath Bombz on how I felt. Let's wrap this thing up with our wellness mocktail. I thought it would be fun to share our spring detox from Elevated Nutrition. Shout out Elevated, 34 Nooseneck Hill Road in West Greenwich, Rhode Island, Unit 2. Definitely come check us out. You can get this right at the bar if you want to try it out first, and then you can always comment or DM for how to make it at home. This is our spring detox. It has 2 teaspoons of the Vegan Immunity new product. This, honestly, the whole vegan line is very impressive. I 10 out of 10 recommend at least checking it out and looking into it. The ingredients are second to none, and every single product honestly tastes so amazing compared to other products that have similar certifications that these qualified for. The immunity in particular is packed with antioxidants from reishi mushrooms, elderberry, I don't know how to say this, acerola cherry, vitamin C and D, and also zinc. All of them are certified non-GMO, vegan, and kosher. So super impressive. This product in particular has like a very light, fruity flavor, almost like if you're eating a Smartie, I would say. Not necessarily powdery, but it's just like very light and subtle. So you could have it by itself, or in this combo, it really just kind of brings like that nice subtle fruitiness to the rest of the stuff. So let's start over. Spring Detox, 2 teaspoons of the vegan immunity, 1 scoop of a tropical fiber, super fun and fruity. That gives you a 5-gram boost of fiber, which will help it'll benefit your gut health, but it'll also help you feel full, which is fantastic. So it'll maybe hold you over a little longer in between meals. Half a teaspoon of pomegranate tea. This is our green tea. It's decaf, 25 milligrams of caffeine and packed with antioxidants. 2 to 3 capfuls of cranberry aloe. Kind of brings some tartness to the mix and also benefits your gut health. And then 1 scoop of collagen, because who's not trying to work on their collagen intake, especially if you're over 25. 10 out of 10 recommend implementing a supplement for collagen at that point, because your body is naturally producing less as a woman. So 10 out of 10 recommend that combo, the Spring Detox. Stop onto Elevated Nutrition or comment or DM for pricing at home. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Toodles.